Hello, my loves. Happy full moon. Okay, I'm going to show you guys a very quick, fast action, highly effective money drawing spell with an alternative candle that you can use. I was getting ready to prep this, and as always, I try to share with you guys how to work with different types of candles because, like I always say to everyone, what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for the other. So sometimes burning the figure candles or the 7-day candles or the, money pyramid candles may not necessarily be what's going to work for you. So I have here a lucky cat candle. I hope you guys can see this. And lucky cat candles come in different colors. They're used for multiple purposes, but they're primarily used for any type of ritual spell that you want something to happen very quickly. You want to go out and catch something and bring it back to you. If you think about how cats work, cats go out and they go hunt for things and they bring them back. So when you're looking for, especially with the green ones, if you're looking to maybe, let's say, improve business, improve your financial situation, somebody owes you some money that you want to get back from them. You want to attract maybe a bonus or a raise or tips, or if you drive Uber, you want people to hit what am I trying to say? You want customers to come, basically. So that's what the lucky cat candle would be used for. Some people use these in matters of love. Some people use them for legal things. But I've seen them very successfully used in any type of financial situation. So I know a lot of times people see these in botanicas and they're not really sure what to use them for. These can also be used for blessing an animal. So if you have a cat that is ill or has passed and you want a way of kind of honoring their spirit, or giving them an offering or something to that effect, or saying a prayer for them, then one of these can be used also. And I would usually use the color white for something like that. So there's a few ingredients that you're going to need. Now, there are some things that if this is all you have on hand, it's perfectly fine to work with. You guys know how I roll. I tend to always kind of spice up my rituals and I add extra ingredients, but that's because I have them on hand. So I'm first going to show you what you can use that you probably have, and if that's it, that's fine. And then I'm going to show you some optional ingredients that you can add to this ritual. So what you're going to want, and if you notice, I'm using a green plate because this is for money, obviously. This is an optional step, but whenever I'm doing my rituals, I really like to work with color magic. That's something that I feel like does give a boost and a bonus to your spell work. So I have a green plate, but feel free to use any plate that you want. I have my petition written out on a brown paper bag. So the petition is written out very specifically, and then name signed across it. Oh, hold on, you guys. This incense is killing me. And then I have some little dollar signs as sigils. You can write your petition however you want. You can, if you wanted to just do a sigil as your petition, that's perfectly fine. I've also anointed it with some oil in 5 spots because that's really grounding the work, grounding the energy, solidifying it. It's also drawing in the energy from the 4 quarters and representing it being manifested here in the physical dimension, okay? So writing out your petition is probably that, and mixing up your money spice is probably what's going to take the most time. So you guys should already know me by now. I use pretty much the same ingredients for money rituals. So we have our money spice here. Hope you guys can see that. And if you want to blend it yourself, it's cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, and cloves. And I'm going to put it, you're going to see why I'm going to put it in here in a minute. I'm going to be rather generous with it. Okay, so that's about maybe 2 tablespoonfuls. I'm then going to add some brown sugar. Any type of sugar you want, but I'm adding brown sugar. This is what I have. And sugar is to sweeten up whatever it is that you're working on. So again, you want things to come to you very sweetly. And I say this, not to offend anybody, but I do know I know a couple of people who have done money rituals and they got the money they wanted, but not under the best circumstances. So We want to make sure it comes from a good place. The next thing that you're going to want is some catnip. I got this catnip from Dollar Tree. Yes, it's the kind of catnip that you give to cats. And catnip, again, is for attracting. So, actually, let's see, I hope you guys can see that. Catnip is for attracting. So these are the primary ingredients that you can use perfectly fine to work with just these three. If you want to spice it up a little bit, these are the additional optional herbs. Skullcap, my go-to. I don't think I've ever dressed a candle without skullcap ever. So you should most certainly invest in some. Star anise seeds. This is for success. Star anise brings success to your rituals. Five-finger grass is another herb. It's another attracting herb specifically for bringing money in. I kind of think of five-finger grass. When I think of this, I think of sticky fingers for some reason. And not in that sense, but like money coming and sticking in my hand. Like when you want to bind your money to, you want it to come and not run away and end up being spit on unexpected bills and expenses. So I feel like that's what the five-finger grass does. And we're going to put that down in here. Then I'm going to use a little bit, I hope you guys can still see this, but I'm going to use a little bit of this Anna Riva Better Business. This is actually an incense blend, but I really like it. It does work. I use it to dress candles all the time. And then this is by Seven Sisters of New Orleans, Fast Success. And this one, actually, you can see the herbs that are down in here. So I really like that because, you know, when you get some of these products from like Botanicas, you don't really know what's in them. And a lot of these companies don't list their ingredients. So to see some herbals in here makes me feel good. I like Seven Sisters of New Orleans products. My mother used to use them when I was a little girl. So they've been around for a very long time. So now I've got all of my ingredients in here, and what I like to do is I like to mix them up. And as I'm mixing them up, I'm thinking my intentions, or I'm saying a prayer. I already prayed over everything before this video. So you can kind of do it. You can pray over all of your ingredients at once. You can do them one by one. And when I'm mixing, if you notice, in a clockwise direction. Clockwise is to bring in. Counterclockwise is to remove. So I'm mixing in a clockwise direction. You can use your hands. You don't have to use a ritual knife. It's just something that I prefer to work with. But putting your hands on there also will definitely bring more energy to your work. So I'm using a little bit of honey. Honey will, one, stick the petition to the plate. And two, again, I want sweet energy going behind what I have written on the petition, okay? And I got my oils going. Just gonna warm that up. I like to warm my oils between my hands before I start anointing my candles. You may notice the only difference with this particular candle is I'm not going to put the herbs on the candle directly. And that's kind of just my preference right now. I really want to, well, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do in a minute. And this candle also, because of its shape, isn't very easy to inscribe on. So if you were, you could probably inscribe on the bottom or maybe along the back of it, like here or something. I just really didn't feel like doing that. That's why I wrote out my petition. But I'm going to take my money mixture and I'm going to cover, kind of bury the petition under all of these ingredients. So now you see why I was so generous with how much I ended up using. And then the leftover, I put a little sprinkle at the top, why not? The leftover I will probably either burn on a charcoal disc or just save it for another candle ritual. The last thing I have, and last two things actually, I have some shredded money. Again, this is an optional step, but if you happen to have some, go ahead and use it. If you want to put some coins around this, you can do that. If you want to put a dollar bill next to it or something, there's no real right or wrong way to do this. Okay, so I picked this up from Trader Joe's for $5.99, and this is a stuffing or dressing, if you're melanated, how we call it, dressing, seasoning with live herbs. And as soon as I saw this, you know what I was thinking. I was like, stuffing my ass. This is about to be my new herb garden for my rituals. So this comes with sage, thyme, and rosemary. So I'm just going to take a little rosemary off of here. And rosemary is fantastic for business matters, for removing obstacles and blockages to your finances. If you are going on a job interview, you want to take a bath or a shower with some rosemary. Either boil the rosemary and pour it over yourself before an interview, or get some rosemary oil, and that will help you shine to a prospective employer. If you are trying to anything pertaining to business or money, especially if you feel like you have money blockages, then you want to use rosemary, or blockages in general. But rosemary is very good for attracting money. So the thyme and the sage, I don't really necessarily use those for prosperity spells. I know a lot of people that do. If those herbs work for you, feel free to add them, but this is kind of my go-to. So as you can see, this was very simple. It did not take me too long to put together. Extremely effective ingredients. This candle will probably burn down in about 2 hours. You can burn this over the course of 3 nights. So, you know, you would light it, let it burn down for maybe 20-30 minutes in increments if you want to do it that way, or you can let it burn down all in one sitting. I typically, with freestanding candles, allow them to burn down all in one sitting unless I'm doing love work. So that's the only other time that I let them burn over a course of several nights. So I hope that this was helpful to you guys. Look at that. I hope that you guys give this spell a try. Again, it's effective. I've used it before in the past, so I know that it works. If you have a similar ritual, or you have an idea of an ingredient that you feel like I should add to this, feel free to comment that down below. Or if you have a money magic, money powder recipe, I would love for you to share that, because like I always say, each one, teach one. Okay? All right, you guys. Have a good night. Have a happy full moon. If you'd like to speak to me privately or book a private consultation about how to improve your magic, you can do so at my website at oneritualaway.com, and I will talk to y'all next time.